Lisa's on.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so we have this morning the financials.
I'm going to report on the financials that I approved last Thursday, pursuant to the motion approved in December to authorize me to do that. So for September 10th, revenue certifications included something from the Community Economic Development Local Revolving Loan Fund and the Sheriff's Local Grant for additional grant funding, and the Building Improvement Fund for reimbursement funds received. Cash transfers out of the general fund were for local revolving loan projects. Encumbrances included a purchase order for Ohio Cat for the state term scheduled purchase of a Caterpillar 308E series mini hydraulic excavator for the Department of Water Resources in the amount of $100,910. Bless you. Purchase order for Chagrin Pet and Garden for the state term schedule purchase of a John Deere XUV 825i Gator for the Department of Water Resources in the amount of $13,153.01. Travel request for Department of Job and Family Services and Juvenile Court. And notable among the vouchers, there was a payment to Logos Communication for the South Network core switch upgrade for the ADP department, totaling $48,500. There's no action on that.
Okay. And then for number 2,
Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of August 27, 2015.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Number 3.
Okay, these are financials for today. Resolution number 15-126, supplemental appropriation transfers include an appropriation transfer from the contingency account for additional health care appropriations required due to coverage changes. Encumbrances included a contract for Keystone Management / Tyco Integrated Security, LLC, for the purchase and installation of security cameras at the Geauga County Safety Center in the amount of $21,887. A contract for Auburn Fence Corporation for the purchase and installation of chain link fence at the Geauga County impound lot in the amount of $7,050. Travel request from the Common Pleas Court, Department of Job and Family Services, and the Treasurer's Office. Vouchers include a payment to the Geauga County Airport Authority for reimbursement request number 1 for the FAA pass-through grant number 3-39-0054-18-2015 in the amount of $20,600. A payment to MT Business Technologies for the purchase of 2 multifunction Ricoh Officio copiers for the Department of Job and Family Services in the amount of $18,513, and a payment to Gottschalk Building Company for door replacement repairs to the Board of DD Maintenance Building in the amount of $10,950.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye. Probably the only other thing on that I actually should probably brought up that day was maybe we can even talk to Sheriff about is they never brought up anything with cameras for like protecting,
For the
impound lot?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would be something. I mean, obviously if something they see fit, but
Yeah, I'm not sure where
right.
physical location is and what's required.
That might be something to look at. I mean, you're securing it with that, but what's to say somebody doesn't climb over the fence?
Right.
Just,
Mitch.
there you go.
Yeah.
Put her in there.
Yeah.
So picture financials from today.
Okay.
Sign.
And for number 4.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you all this morning?
Fine, thanks.
I currently had an employee on administrative leave, Kathy Hartz. I do need to change that over to sick leave from August 1st, 31st, moving forward.
Okay.
Department on Aging is requesting the Board approve the removal of Kathy Hart's Assistant State Coordinator from paid administrative leave and place her on sick leave effective August 31st, 2015.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
And the next next one, I've been working with Cleveland State University to set up an academic affiliation agreement. They do have a bachelor's social work program and a master's social work program. And we finally received that paperwork back so that we can now have students from Cleveland State University shadow and work with our social workers at the Department on Aging to fulfill their clinical requirements.
There's no,
We don't compensate them monetarily. They do receive a grade for the field work.
how do we handle like insurance, workers' comp, this, that, or that? Is that been addressed?
We are listed as an insured on their liability insurance.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. I'm sure we don't have to buy their books.
No, and like I said, we're listed as an additional insured on their liability.
Okay, thank you.
Department on Aging is requesting the Board approve and authorize the Vice President of the Board to execute the affiliation agreement between the Geauga County Board of Commissioners, the Geauga County Department on Aging, and Cleveland State University to provide field experience solely for the purposes of course credit to students enrolled in the University School of Social Work programs.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Blair?
Aye.
Christy, I have a question about this document, which has just one place for a signature.
Just him.
Just him.
Yep.
And the next 5 are resolutions. Tomorrow is our annual meeting, so we will be presenting awards to our 2 volunteers of the year and 3 of our senior supporters. So we have a Home Delivered Meals Volunteer of the Year, Kate Greff. We have a Volunteer of the Year, Vi Kadick. And then our Senior of the Year is Norm Traffis. He is he's in Chesterland. He usually goes to our West G Senior Center. The Rose Motley Advocate of the Year is Frederick H. Green, attorney. And as far as the Senior Supporter of the Year, we are honoring the late Bobby C. Graves. He's the employee that passed away a couple months ago, and before his shift every morning, he would pick up one of our volunteers and bring her to work each day, so that she could start her shift at 7 o'clock, and then he would read a book for a half an hour until his shift started. So he would bring her early every single day.
The Department on Aging is requesting the Board approve and execute resolution number 15-127 honoring Kate Greff for being the Department on Aging Home Delivered Meals Volunteer of the Year. The Department on Aging is requesting the Board approve and execute resolution number 15-128 honoring Vi Kadick for being the 2015 Department on Aging Volunteer of the Year. The Department on Aging is requesting the Board approve and execute resolution number 15-129 honoring Norm Traffis as the 2015 Geauga County Senior Citizen of the Year. The Department on Aging is requesting the Board approve and execute resolution number 15-130 honoring Frederick H. Green, attorney, as the 2015 Rose Motley Senior Advocate of the Year. The Department on Aging is requesting the Board approve and execute resolution number 15-131 honoring Bobby Ray Seagraves as the 2015 Geauga County Senior Supporter of the Year.
I'll make those motions.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner
Aye.
Spillier?
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too now. Okay, community development. Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Johnny.
Well, how are you?
Good. Okay. What can you tell us this morning?
Well, the first item is a change order for phase 1 of work that's being done at the Thomason Township Community Center. And as you can understand, a 200-year-old building, they've come across some surprises.
Sure.
It's not a body.
It wasn't a body. Thankfully, it wasn't a body. But during some of the rehabilitation that's been done in the past, they found that some of the beams had been compromised, and there's some other surprises that they connected. So in order to repair it, this is phase 1. This is the money that is from the allocation grant.
Okay.
And so $4,760 to repair that portion.
And then, do you want to talk about number 12 real quick, too?
So the next item, which is also another change order, this is the phase of the project that the commissioners had approved the funds that was outside of the 2 bathrooms and the furnace and the ramp. This is all the other work that's being done. And in this case, after removing some of the interior walls, they found that the floors didn't match up.
So just some additional changes to
So,
that work order
yes,
52.
and plus the ceilings as well. Wherever there was a wall, there was an issue.
Okay.
So they're going to have to correct that as well.
Okay, so any questions, Blake? Then we'll read 11 and 12.
The Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the Board approve and authorize the Vice President of the Board to execute change order number 1, increasing the contract with Marks Building Company for the Thompson Township Community Center Rehabilitation Project Phase 1 under allocation grant BF 141AZ1 due to hidden damage to the building in the amount of $4,760. The Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the Board approve and authorize the Vice President of the Board to execute change order number 2, increasing the contract with Marks Building Company for the Thompson Township Community Center Rehabilitation Project Phase 2 under revolving loan fund waiver funds due to hidden damage to the building in the amount of $5,208.
I'll make those motions.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner
Aye.
Spillier?
Approved number 13 then, Joni, is for...
Okay, we have, in connection with the sewer plant that's being constructed in Thompson, we had funds that the state provided in order to do tie-ins for the low-income residents. And we were able to identify 3 low-income residents that qualified for that money. And then we were miraculously able to find a contractor that was willing to do it.
Wow, nice.
So,
Okay. So number 13 then.
You want to do them all together or not?
Well, the other one is... Yeah, actually, why don't we do that?
14 are all
The 3 are,
together.
right.
Yeah,
They're all for the same
That sounds
outfit.
good.
The Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the Board approve and authorize the Vice President and the Board to execute the notice of award to Auburn Bainbridge Excavating for tie-in of property located at 6702 Madison Road to the Thompson Township Sewage Disposal System under grant BW 131AZ1 in the amount of $5,250. The Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the Board approve and authorize the Vice President of the Board to execute the notice of award to Auburn Bainbridge Excavating for tie-in of property located at 6737 Madison Road to the Thompson Township Sewage Disposal System under grant BW 131AZ1 in the amount of $4,025. The Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the Board approve and authorize the Vice President of the Board to execute the notice of award to Auburn Bainbridge Excavating for tie-in of property located at 16667 Thompson Road to the Thompson Township Sewage Disposal System under grant BW 131AZ1 in the amount of $5,250.
I'll make those motions.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
thank
Approved.
you.
Thank you, Dean. Yes.
Oh,
Morning, Anita.
we're working like a tag team here, right? And then
I
she's
guess I
out.
did good when I put them all together.
Yes. Yeah, we would have been going back and forth. But then he- All right, we're finally ready with Great Lakes Growers. This is building their second greenhouse to accommodate the growing demand for produce that people know where it's coming from, as opposed to who knows where. So their business is growing. Costco, Heinen's, they're everywhere. They can't keep up with the demand. They need to add more space. So they've requesting $250,000, and the committee set an interest rate of 4% for 10 years, and we're ready to lend. This is just a letter of commitment right now. So we'll come back with the full legal documents next week. So, but this gets everything set in motion. Should disperse by the end of the month, most likely.
Yeah, very good.
Question? The Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the Board approve and execute the letter of commitment to Great Lakes Growers LLC for the local revolving loan fund LRLF loan for the construction of a building located at 15145 Kingsman Road, Burton Township, in the amount of $250,000 for 10 years, 120 months at a 4% interest.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner
Aye.
Spillier?
Thank you.
Motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. Okay, county home.
Beloved County Home. Good morning, Karen.
Yeah, I gave you
Moment for me. Pardon me?
I gave you some.
I know. Lake Weir gave me a huge turkey. That should be in the record. so big we have to cut it in half to put it in the oven.
I never saw it. It was
Such an overachiever.
I didn't even bid on it. I sent someone else. I was busy.
What was it, 35 pounds, did you say?
I thought she said it dressed out at 34 pounds or something like that.
That's really big. It won't fit in the oven. Okay, 17, that is, all that is when we terminated that person that night at evening session, we neglected to increase the posting.
Okay.
Okay, that's all that is.
All right. We want to
Want to
read
do it
that?
separate? The county home is requesting the board increase the current posting for the position of full-time attendant number 1504 from 1 to 2 positions. These positions will remain posted until filled.
Make a motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner
Aye.
Spudler?
Then 18 is just posting the rate of what it's going to be.
Actually, 18 is rehiring somebody that resigned from me in July, and she's coming back. So
Okay.
this is really great. We're really pleased. She's a real good worker. We just, this is just wonderful for her to come back like this. She was part-time, and she's coming back to a full-time opening. It's a good thing for all of us there.
Okay.
Good.
The county home is requesting the board approve hiring Ashley Clark to the position of full-time attendant number 1504 to be effective September 28th, 2015 at a rate of $10.47 per hour. After the successful completion of the 180-day probation period, the rate will increase to $11.02 per hour.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Morning, Nick.
Items 19 and 20, 2 weeks ago you signed the plat for the Canyon Lakes Colony 13B. This is just the performance guarantee for to finish the roadway work, that once they get it built out, they hold the money until it's built out, and the other is for the water resources maintenance guarantee of it.
Okay. Read those together.
The county engineer's office is requesting the board approve, accept, and execute the mortgage deed for sublot number 21 for the performance guarantee for Canyon Lakes County Phase 13B in Bainbridge Township. The county engineer's office is requesting the board approve, accept, and execute the mortgage deed for sublot number 20 for the maintenance guarantee for the Canyon Lakes County Phase 13B in Bainbridge Township.
I'll make those motions.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner
Aye.
Spudler?
I got one question for you, Nick.
Yes,
You knew it was coming, didn't you?
I'm sure.
I stopped by there yesterday, and they're loading salt like mad.
Yes, they are. It's kind of a musical orchestration. If you watch it, they're pulling 4 or 5 trucks back at the same time. Dumping one's going up, pulling out, coming in. So it's loading fast.
Well, I know because I pulled in the wrong driveway. I thought, well, I want to see the salt shed. I'll just pull in that driveway. And it was like dodging with all those semis coming out of there.
Yeah, that and cinder supply coming in too. So
Yeah, those are the big mountains outside, right?
yes.
Are they going to go in that
No.
dome?
That'll be a mix. So right now we'll have to use up what's in there, but the intent is to have the mix already.
In the old
In the
dome,
old
and the new building is just
It's pure salt.
Do you know how many ton we're getting?
I don't know what's coming through. I know we're getting shipments from the 2 locations right now. I think we're going to have somewhere, guessing, 8 to 9 ton, 8 to 9,000 ton.
I was told that we already had more on the ground than we could store before. Is that right?
That I do not know the answer.
Oh, okay, that's what I was told.
I don't know
There
how
was-
much has been delivered. So
Well, I know one thing. It looks like just a drop in the bucket in that big building. I don't know how much it is, but I'm like, man, there's a lot of room in this building.
yes, it'll be good for everybody. So we're excited to see it actually get filled up. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll stay that way.
That makes a lot of us. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully you'll only use a fraction this year.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yep. Bye-bye now. Okay. Hey, Craig, how are you?
How are you guys?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So I got 21 and 22. The first is in regards to our PRC plan for 2015, and then the upcoming PRC period is just to approve that we've taken what we've done with our PRC plan, which is part of our funding our TANF funding that we receive. And that funding goes towards parents of children who are under the age of 18, parents or adults who are pregnant, and then also teenagers. It helps them with clothing, shelter, relocation assistance for domestic violence victims, disaster assistance, transportation, employment, and training. It's usually emergency funds, but the goal is to help those particular individuals who are, meet, I think it's 175% of the federal poverty level, but also have those children or expecting to have children and help them with those situations moving forward. So we took that plan, and what we've done with those monies to our Family Services Planning Committee. They have, voted or approved what we've done with those funds, and this is for you guys to sort of acknowledge that we've been doing what we're doing and to continue with our PRC plan going forward.
Okay. No.
The Department of Job and Family Services is requesting the board to certify that the requirements of Ohio Revised Code 5108 pertaining to the biennial review of the Prevention, Retention, and Contingency PRC plan by the Family Services Planning Committee have been fulfilled, and that the PRC plan is approved to be submitted to the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, and further approved and authorized the Vice President of the Board to execute the Geauga County Prevention, Retention, and Contingency Plan biannual renewal 2015 of Ohio Revised Code 5108.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Approved number 22.
Thank you very much. Yes, with number 22, this is for our Home Energy Assistance Program, otherwise well known as our heating for low-income residents that are also at 175, at or below 175% of the federal poverty level, to assist them in emergency situations with their heating in the winter. In this particular, we receive grants for administration, which pays for our staff to be able to determine the eligibility of those individuals, and then obviously we also receive monies to help them, with the actual heating bills. This is the portion that is the administrative portion, so as it states, the administrative operating grant. So this is for you guys to allow these monies to come into the county to us to pay for our staff to determine that eligibility for those that come to us in need of heating crisis in the winter.
The Department of Job and Family Services is requesting the board approve the submission of the EY 2016 Home Energy Assistance Program Heat Administrative Operating Grant, and further approve and authorize the Vice President of the Board to initial the assurances for the heat program.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. Motion approved.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good, nice day.
Appreciate it.
So keep signing.
Yes.
Yeah, I keep
We're
looking.
close. We got one more. We got
Which-
one to do for Mike before
Our
the public
23,
hearing.
well, 23 is Mike. That's before
Yes.
this, right?
Yes.
And the 24 is the one we have at 9:30.
Hey, Mike. Hello, folks.
We got 7 minutes to get this done.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can sign by your resolution.
It will be done. All right, number 21 is basically I'm requesting the board authorize us to apply for the Federal Transit Administration grants under their federal laws, codified 49, et cetera, 5311 fund. That's the fund that is that we draw from the feds as administered through the Ohio Department of Transportation. 5311 is a rural transit fund for on-demand response systems only.
For the record, that's 23 on our agenda, correct?
Yeah, right.
Any other questions?
No.
The Transit Department is requesting the board approve and execute resolution number 15-132, authorizing the submittal of a proposal with the Ohio Department of Transportation for a grant through the U.S. DOT Federal Transit Administration (FTA) as authorized under federal transit laws, as codified 49 U.S.C. Section 5311 financial assistance for other than urbanized areas, and funds available from the Ohio Public Transportation Grant Program, and executing a contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation upon grant proposal approval.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. Motion approved.
And you want to just read that one for, what's it, 25? That shouldn't be a big deal, should it?
Well, Glenn's got 3. I don't know.
Yeah,
Glenn, do you want to come up and we'll take care of those?
We may have to interrupt you there somewhere in.
I got 3 to do in what?
Hey, you got 5 minutes?
Get it done.
I'll sit a little closer to me.
I'll sit next to Glenn.
Yeah, oh,
Okay, it's the light.
okay.
It's the
All
light.
right. This is all on video now.
Yeah. Get the 2 of you bonding there together.
Got the lighting around.
So Glenn, you've got polling location.
Yeah, polling location. Last year they were here at Building 8, and they've come back again to request to use Building 8 for a polling station. This year.
Already.
They do provide a guard, right, or a traffic guy. They did last year.
Yeah, they did last year. So
Yeah.
Bonus. We can actually get out of the
Yeah, we had a
driveway.
cop. We had a police officer directing traffic when we got to leave.
Right, okay.
Okay.
I'll check on that and make sure.
The Maintenance Department is requesting the Board approve and authorize the Vice President of the Board to execute the contract for Election Day polling location with the Geauga County Board of Elections, allowing the use of 470 Center Street, Building Number 8 as a polling location for Precinct Chardon City A and B on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Mr. Spillier?
Aye.
Okay, number 26. Anything over $5,000 with that, we have to bring it to me, and we go through it and get a contract and everything going. We provide the funding for it, and then it gets reimbursed back into our fund from JFS, if I'm correct.
Yeah, yeah. How much area are they actually fixing it if that's not the whole roof?
No, this is just patching the roof, certain areas in the curbs and everything.
Okay. All right.
The Maintenance Department is requesting the Board approve and execute the service contract agreement with RE Roofing Company to furnish material and repair roof at Job and Family Services offices on Ravenwood Drive, Chardon for the year 2015 in an amount not to exceed $6,900.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Number 27, this was signed last week. We did our contract on top of theirs. All right. They came back and said, hey, we'd really like to have our contract with yours signed also. So I'm just asking that we just go ahead and sign their contract on top of ours.
Okay.
The Maintenance Department is requesting the Board amend the motion from September 3rd, 2015 to read, approve, and execute a service contract agreement with Tyco Integrated Security, LLC, to provide and install security cameras at the Geauga County Safety Center for the year 2015 in an amount not to exceed $21,887. And further approve and authorize the Vice President of the Board to execute the rider for additional equipment and or services and additional terms and conditions.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye. Motion's all approved.
You heard Ralph's comment about looking at a camera for that impound lot area, the fenced area that we're going through.
I know I did.
No, he wasn't.
Okay, you want?
No,
Yeah, you had to come
walked
in.
in.
Yeah, he was just because that was on the financials, and he asked I think the name or the encumbrance was in the financials. He just saying, do we think about any kind of video surveillance for the impound lot?
Right.
I was,
At the moment, we have not.
I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be pretty much where they park the cars right now, so you could probably put it on a building or something like
Correct.
that.
It's going to be on the garage, the outbuilding on the south end of that. And it's going to be all encased in razor blade, and then we're going to put a couple of towers on each end of the corners. No.
I suggested we just put Midge in there for security.
I was
like, wow, they know it all out.
3 more lines. That's regular perimeter.
We'll have our own Guantanamo.
That's right.
No, right now it's just the fence with the razor on top of that. So, and then we'll look at the camera if that's what the sheriff wants.
Better have some really nice rims to go over that fence.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. Have a good day.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
You are right on time. Thanks for coming in.
You have to take the action to waive
I need a
the
motion
public
Oh,
hearing.
yeah, wait a minute. I move to waive the reading of the legal notice.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Okay, now. You write it down.
So what can you tell us?
Oh, okay. Just talk about the grants that I'm going to receive from the FTA as administered through the ODOT funds, and I'll turn here so I am speaking to the public. A couple things about the grant that have changed from last year. I know last year they had split it up for the first time, a operation type grant, and then I had another grant that was for vehicles and building maintenance. This year they threw it all back together again, so the funds they're giving me are all mixed up again as far as one amount instead of asking for two amounts. Again, the grant is from the 5311 fund, which deals with on-demand response type rural systems only. The revenue funding from the feds that is administered is this year we're going to receive, this is for operating. Our operating funds are $603,059, and from the state also is put into that is $173,995. The federal operating of over $600,000 is a 2.4% increase over 2015. The $173,000 we received from the state to go to our operating fund is an 11% increase from 2015. Our capitalized maintenance, which is basically for anything that has to do with our rolling stock, any of our vehicles, including our service truck and the county vehicle that we have and we maintain, and the other one. That grant is for a $184,068, and again, that's the mechanic's salary, our housekeeping salary, all our vehicle maintenance and repair, things like that. The operating, just as noted, is the salary for basically everything else: the drivers, staff, fuel, tires. And they put tires in there, which is kind of where they don't put in for the vehicles. But we also received a EAD grant, which is used to offset that's from the state elderly and disabled fares. That total will be $61,200. The total of those funds, with inclusive of receiving $155,460 for two light vehicles, the type you see on the road now, and also I asked for and received a $51,000 grant for an MV1 or a small converted minivan type vehicle. I would try to do that in response to our less used hours. Maybe try and have a different type of vehicle on the road to save some fuel and stuff like that, make it a little more manageable for the drivers and for the clients. So our total is, the funds we're going to get is $1,168,326. I'm combining that with our local estimated funds of roughly $339,645. Our total estimated revenues for next year should be about $1,507,971. That's compared to $1,499,000 last year. The first question I'll just address with that. You might say, well, if I got these increases, why is the amount not that much greater? We have seen a loss in our contracted revenues this year of probably between $36,000 to $48,000. I'm going to estimate, and that is just reflective of less people going to the senior center. That's our contract, basically our biggest contracted revenue. We did see a slight increase, though, in our casuals, which is what I wanted to see, which means people are just calling the general public, calling, and we're able to give them rides. If you notice, I'm not here asking for another driver like I have in the past, because we're fully staffed, and what I think we could add more flexibility to improve what we call the turn downs to the clients. When they call, we can't give them a ride because we don't have a bus available. Now I have more part-timers on the payroll, so I'll be able to, seeing ahead, where I have spot, I can plug them in here and there to make sure to eliminate some of those denials. As far as the cost of the county goes, there's no cost because they are part-time. The only cost of the county is when they actually work. Their uniform costs, there is no benefits cost because they are part-time individuals that are under 30 hours. So we maintain that. Like I said, my vehicle grants for two replacement LTV vehicles. Those rules haven't changed. 150,000 miles, 6 years on the road is before I can. The state will allow me to replace them. We have two that we're replacing this year. There are 16 revenue vehicles in our fleet. 17 I've put in if I did get the MV1 grant, which I did if they okay it. To address last year, we had a question about the type of vehicle we got. We got our two new transit vehicles are going to be gasoline fueled, like the last four that we've gotten. And I'll address. Blake had a question last year, which I said I committed to address, and I will this year. The question is, people say, well, the diesel vehicles get more better gas mileage than the gasoline vehicles, which is true. Right now, our diesel vehicles are averaging anywhere between 12.5 to 14 miles per gallon, depending on load, weather conditions, and the foot of the driver. That goes into it too. Gasoline vehicles are the four that we have on the road right now are between 10.8 and 11.2 miles per gallon with the same indices. On the surface, you say, well, why wouldn't you get more? Go back to diesel. Well, the diesel option this year has gone up to $16,000 per vehicle. So if I can buy the same vehicle, to get a diesel engine, I have to add $16,000 for the cost. Based on a 5-year period, as our best figuring can do, which we try to do based on usage, we would still save even with the cost of gasoline and the less mileage, and there's more diesel fuel cost, even though we do get a tax reimbursement there. We probably save about $5,000 over the life of a vehicle every time we use a gas one versus a diesel one. And you talk about mileage, and you talk about diesels are a little bit harder to maintain. They have, for the EPA, they have their regen, which is they have to burn their particulates and all that stuff, and that's very costly to maintain. And so, any other questions for 2016? I'll try to address them. We are going to try to add a driver supervisor for 2016. I did put that in our budget. That role will be for safety and for dispatching purposes, and one of my goals for the transit is to improve my dispatch by 10%, which means reducing mileage and improving, density per mile right now. Even though right now we have reduced about 40,000 miles year to date with riders on board. So we have made some progress in density, but I think there's a lot there to be made. We did reduce and we will not replace the full-time driver position. We had one leave us, and I'm not going to replace that because we're able to handle that with the part-timers. We did add 2 more drivers over what we've had in the past for that, again, that flexibility that I talked about and the minimal cost. We did have improved advertising revenue. Just as a side note, University Hospitals has just signed on. You'll see our buses now have sayings from University Hospital on the sides. They bought the 16 sides of our vehicles.
And you're not putting the big size Geauga Transit lettering on the side of the buses anymore to leave the room for advertising.
No. Now that we know exactly what we're going to see on the buses, we have ordered it, and you'll see on some of the buses the driver's side door has our logo with a phone number. The phone number is also below the advertising on the sides of the bus, and then on the passenger side of the bus, the doors for the lift. For the mobility device lift, that also has our logo on it now, and there'll be a small phone number that we'll order in front of there too. So and of course the front, what I call Grandma's bedroom in the U-Haul thing there, over the front of the cab, that still has the Geauga County Transit logo up there. So you should be able to know. Although we did have some people say, "Oh, I didn't have University Hospitals picking me up or United Way picking me up or something," but we took care of that. Our costs, and last year I committed to a monthly review of our costs. And what we do is we have a weekly cost projection sheet, and I review that probably much to the chagrin of my budget officer probably every day. I yell out my office and say, "Are we on budget today, and did we balance?" And she yells back at me and says, "Yes," because she says it to me, obviously. We have a monthly fund drawdown review from the state. The state grants us money based on how much, basically what we draw down. So the balancing act is to spend the money efficiently while yet drawing down those funds from the federal government and trying to balance that so you don't waste the taxpayer money, but yet draw down enough so that they continue to give you the money. So kind of a balancing act there. We have a monthly review of all consistent bills, utilities, fuel for any aberrations, and all the purchases, including paper towels, 2 pencils, 2 pens, go through the operations manager, the budget director, and then finally myself for review. So that's our monitoring policy in place right now. Are there any questions, comments?
Pretty thorough. For $16,000, you got to drive. You got to save a lot of miles. Yeah. Would you say they're like in the 10 round figures around 10 for the?
Right now, our gasoline vehicles are 10.8 to 11.2.
Okay, so we'll say 11.
Yeah.
And what are the other ones?
Diesels are 12.5 to 14.
What's the current price differential per gallon? Diesel was quite a bit higher for a while. I don't know.
We don't buy, when you see that we buy diesel off the state bid, which is right now, I think we're averaging about $1.93 a gallon. I'd have to look at that exactly. Don't quote me on that. But
and what do you get gasoline the same way, right?
Yes. We buy gasoline also the same. Well, we get our gas from through the water department. be honest with you right now, I know I haven't checked lately what they've been charging us, but I'm sure it's right in that same range.
Well, yeah, I was going to say the point being that if there's a $16,000 difference in the purchase price of the vehicles, and you want to amortize that or recoup that over the life of that vehicle, you better get more than 3 miles per gallon better mileage.
Hopefully diesel.
Yeah.
To pay for that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're getting round figures 11 for the gas and average 13 for the
Diesel,
the diesel,
makes no sense to buy
that you're talking about two miles to gallon.
Yeah.
The other issue used to be that diesel engines were a lot more durable and go a lot more miles without a major overhaul, and gasoline engines, at least my knowledge, have gotten much better in that regard. So you don't really have to generally worry about engine overhaul within that lifespan you're projecting.
No, we don't.
But the emission problem is one.
It's big on the diesel.
On the diesels that you didn't have a decade or more ago. Mm-hmm. Now they're trying to clean that diesel fuel up.
The particulate stuff. Yeah, you have the regen, which is that if you ever look at our diesel buses, they have like a big cone in the back, and that's a hot spot that actually reburns whatever's coming out. And then also every morning we put, and I don't know what it's called, some type of liquid in the diesel fuel.
Yeah.
That, so there's some cost savings there, but there's a big cost savings with that regen. That as vehicles get older, those tendency to. And what happens is the bus just slows down and it'll only go 25 miles an hour. It doesn't cut out totally. But you'll be on the road. We have to drive. My regen light came on. And, sometimes we've got to send them up to Preston to get fixed.
And the other issue with gasoline is it's much easier to then take the transition to compressed natural gas at some point.
If at some point those engines will run on CNG.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easier to have a mixed fuel gasoline CNG than it would be to do that with diesel.
Yeah,
that's kind of
exactly right. Although CNG right now is CNG station right now, I'm told for a fleet our size would cost us about $300,000.
Yeah, I mean the gas prices are low enough now; it doesn't make sense. But at some point,
never know.
Could again. Yeah.
Informational question. You mentioned the $16,000 price difference. So ballpark, then, how much does a gasoline-powered vehicle cost?
Right now, we're going to spend next year with probably about a 7% increase that we build in. We're going to spend about $67,400 something on a gasoline vehicle.
Okay.
For one of those transit buses you see, the newer type with the when you see the Eagle and the Eldorado type body style.
Okay.
And if you wanted to buy a diesel for that exact same vehicle, it would just be add another $16,000.
60, yeah, that's about 83.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sure.
Well, if we do this, that you just want to put him as your alternate from going forward?
Yeah, I mean, that would be easier just to do that.
Then I can just...
Yeah, I'm just going to leave that part up.
I'll change it. Okay.
Well, thank you.
We're just.
We need to read on
this
that.
Is informational, right? We're not voting on it.
We'll make a motion.
There's nothing to vote on for this.
Nope, we just have to
This is
say
just
that
the
we're
hearing.
closing it at
Close
what
the hearing.
time?
Okay, closing the hearing at whatever time it is.
9:43.
9:43.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike, guys.
Very thorough.
Yeah. Morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good, Jerry.
The first item on our list here is the resignation of Kevin O'Connor. It actually goes by Casey. I had a second guess when I looked at the agenda. I thought, that's the wrong name. His real name is Kevin. He goes by Casey, though. He's a maintenance worker. He's leaving us. He's actually going to Russell Township to work for them. So, and then the next item after that is increasing the posting that we currently have out for maintenance from 1 to 2 positions. We'll cover the position that Casey would be vacating.
All right. You can read those then.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board accept the resignation of Kevin O'Connor, maintenance worker, to be effective September 25th, 2015. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board increase the current posting for the position of maintenance worker number 2330 from 1 to 2 positions. These positions will remain posted until fall.
I'll make that. Those motions.
Commissioner Brady?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
And the next item is actually to fill one of those two maintenance positions. It's hiring Rob Edmonds for the position of maintenance worker. He's actually coming to us from Lake County. He currently works for Lake County Utilities. Coming to us from there.
Nice. I'm going to go the other way.
Yeah, that's the one thing I forgot to mention too. I was talking about Casey. This is the first person who's left to go work somewhere else in almost 2 years from our department. So.
No, it's really good.
It's been nice to have that consistency.
Yeah.
Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve hiring Rob Edmonds to the position of maintenance worker number 2330 to be effective October 5th, 2015 at a rate of $16.11 per hour with a 180-day probationary period.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
And our final item is a service contract with Harper Well and Pump. This will be for the rest of this year and for 2016. Just to have them doing well service or pump service for us at our different facilities for our water system.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute the service contract agreement with Harper Well and Pump Incorporated to perform well and well pump services as needed at various locations and various facilities within the department for the year 2015 through 2016 in an amount not to exceed $10,000.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner
Aye. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry.
Do you want to read number 32 or to explain
Yeah.
that real quick?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. We lost a fairly long-term employee in our department to a promotion in the engineer's office back around the beginning of the year. It seems like a long time ago. And we had a temp in, and then we hired someone for the front desk position, administrative assistant, and a very bright young lady who then had a family issue come up where she had to resign fairly soon after she was hired. So we went back and re-advertised, and we got a number of really good applicants. I was very pleased with the quality of the people that applied for the position, and we're recommending to the board that you approve the hiring of Lori Zampino. Lori lives in Camden. She has a degree, bachelor's degree from Kent State University in Education and General Studies. She actually manages the Latchkey program for Chardon City Schools. That's something she does early in the morning. We're looking for this position to normally be here from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 10 to 3. Okay. Middle of the day, for coverage, middle of the day, handling mail, processing, learning to be a backup for all the people in our office because we don't have a lot of depth in any position. And Lori also has been functioning since 2010 as the assistant to Laura Corman, the fiscal officer for Hampton Township. So she understands government budgeting, which is a very rare skill to have. And she just has a wonderful personality, and all the references have been glowing, so I'd like to recommend the board hire Lori to start on September 28th.
Any questions? Good. Okay. So if we could read number 32.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve hiring Lori Zampino to the position of part-time administrative assistant number 1319-1 to be effective September 28, 2015 at a rate of $12.64 per hour. After the successful completion of a 188 probationary period, the rate will increase to $13.12 per hour.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Aye.
Did you? No. She'll just, every time I've ever seen her, she's got a smile on her face.
Very, very sure you're going to like her.
Very nice.
Very sure.
I mean, just, she might be having a bad day, but you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So.
Then for number 33, it's we got the schedule for the budget hearings. A couple of these I'm going to have a little bit of an issue with. I didn't think I had texted you.
Yeah, you did.
Or emailed you.
Yeah.
I just, like I had emailed Dave yesterday, trying to see if some of these we could have possibly moved to an 8 a.m., and being able to probably cut off actually a couple of days of time. And then, we've got, 34 items on the agenda, and it's just a little bit after a quarter till. And I haven't had a 3-page agenda since all year. So I was going to say is almost if we were to start them at, say, 8, we come to the meeting at 9, start another one at 10, another one at 11. If we wanted to break at noon, we could come back then at 12:30. And, I just think that there's some time wasted here that we can almost just have a little more of an aggressive schedule to just, a lot of these departments we've had them where they're less than 10 minutes long to be able to get in and out, with some of the smaller departments. So
we might have to have a little bit of time before a meeting because both Heidi and I generally have some prep work to do.
Okay.
I'm
reluctant to change it at this point only because the people, mainly Heidi, who's in Columbus or some meeting, and Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, what about this? Could we just push it to next week? Maybe if when is Skip coming back too?
He'll be back this week.
Let me ask you this: what's the reason that we have to start him at 1? I mean, why can't we?
My question is, it's not just us; it's their when they have their people available.
Right.
I understand we say and they try to comply or whatever, but I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm just saying.
I'd say we could table it if that's a.
Well, I mean, we can
have the opportunity to approve it next Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, you can approve it.
Yeah, I just don't want to make the decision based on my opinion or yours without getting the people who actually have to do this. Yeah. Maybe, I was looking at the one like at the prosecutor at 3:30. Who knows how long he's going to go, and that's the end of his day. Right. He can't take it out in the middle of the day.
Right, and that's why I'm saying if he came at, let's say, we had him here at 10:15, then at that point in time we could have him from 10:15 till, if it's he's not going to take an hour, but I'm just saying if he did, we could do none at 11:15 till noon, and then we break at lunch, come back for a half hour lunch, and then I'm just saying I think that there's just a lot of time span here that we can possibly, tighten the schedule up a little bit to make it appealing to a little bit of everybody. And then, like for the 22nd, I know that with mental health, I'd like to be here for sure for that one, and that's at 3 p.m. I'm not going to be able to be there on the 22nd. I could be here for the 1 o'clock, and then I actually fly out that afternoon. So it just, I'm just saying if there's a couple of these.
Here's an idea. Why don't you look at this, and that's a good example of one where you have a specific conflict you know about now.
Right.
That you give us a list of the ones based right now where you have an issue, and maybe we can fill in some like after meetings and get them done. The only problem we run into is some of these departments, because some of these budgets are fairly complex, and the people want to give you a complete description. Some of these you can do in, like you said, 10 minutes. Some of them, and depending on the questions, like I said in my reply back to you, that one of you might even have, these things can be dragged out. What we don't want to do is set them up for every single one 15 minutes and have people stacked up in the waiting room.
Right.
But I think in the case, if you say, mental health's a good example, hey, we could check over, are you guys available, on one of these Tuesdays right after session before lunch, get that one out of the way, and try and compress it a little bit that way at least. Yeah. So why don't you tell us what your schedule is?
I have one thing I have to interject here on is you would probably have to leave next Tuesday the way that it is and approve
the schedule
and approve the 22nd today because we have to do that 24-hour notice
because these are public meetings.
Because it is a public hearing. Right. And they are public, so we have to have a time frame to give notification because all of you will be together.
What if we were to just push them back then for the prosecutor? Why don't we? Because I agree with Blake on that at 3:30. Why don't
that might be for his benefit because he's got the day in the court. That's what I was saying.
He has to be at the ADP.
I mean, if he's going to,
he said that he cannot be here until 3:30 because
Skip would probably want to be at the ADP.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
so that's why.
Meeting on the 22nd.
Now I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean they got a murder trial. I don't know what.
Okay.
What I don't want to do is make an assumption for these other people, and I haven't talked to them, and I'm assuming that Heidi has set something up.
Well, the ones in green here, they had indicated they were available at these times. Now, if we offer them times like after meetings and some other times and try and compress this,
I just don't want to
maybe they can shift it.
Take an action that's going to complicate things going forward. If you feel that we could do that September 22nd as it's done
if you
here,
need to do that, we'll do it.
and then revisit as soon as
The
the
rest
players
of it,
come
right.
back into the existence here, or with Heidi, Skip, or someone.
Because I'm just saying too, is it's like the law libraries at 1:30. They're not going to take 2 hours to go to the for the prosecutor. The law library is going to take 15 minutes.
Yes, but there's an ADP board meeting scheduled that afternoon from 2 o'clock till 3:30. That's why.
That's what.
Yeah,
There's another
There's
commitment
don't
another
have
that they have.
conflict here.
If you look
This
at,
is
Yeah.
what you look at here.
No, I
There's
get it.
another meeting that's scheduled in between there.
That's the
why
only thing
Jim
I-
can't be here until 3:30 because he has to be. At
Is
the
it okay if we
I
just
see.
vote on
Yeah.
the schedule for
Sure.
the 22nd, modify the motion,
Okay.
and agree to
Yeah, the
table
22nd,
the other.
We'll do the other ones later.
Yeah.
We'll look at that.
I don't know how you want to.
So we will
State
approve
that.
Approve the budget hearings for the meetings for the 22nd.
I mean, you could approve it as is and then just amend it. It doesn't hurt to approve it as an amendment.
That's fine. I
Yeah,
mean, if,
for now, because
yeah.
you're going to change it anyway. Doesn't
You mean
it?
the whole thing?
Yeah, just approve it.
Approve
and
the whole
amend it.
thing as is, and then
'Cause
amend.
that's usually what happens every year anyway. We approve an initial one, then we change it.
Okay, well then
We
that's
always
fine.
make changes to it.
okay.
So
So
we're
the
gonna read
Commissioner's
that.
Office is requesting the Board approve the 2015 budget hearing schedule for September 22nd, 29th, October 6th, 8th, 15th, 20th, and 22nd. Do you want me to read all of these names and all these departments?
No, it's.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
And then on to, when Heidi comes back, we'll do whatever we have to do and make a change to it.
Yeah.
You can have this,
Perfect.
make changes, make notes,
Okay.
and then
Yeah,
give it to Heidi.
tell us the ones that definitely don't work for you,
Okay.
because we want to make sure you're there if you
Okay.
can be.
Yep.
And then on this one, then, so you don't want,
We'll just
Give
do
him
is
the glory.
put his as Joe's for the alternate.
for NOACA.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get rid of just this part and just.
Yeah.
So you're just going to cross some of that out then?
Yep. And then I
Joe
guess
County
going
engineer
forward,
is
Joe will now
alternate
be your
for
alternate.
NOACA?
Really.
Yep.
And then stop it at
Yeah.
NOACA, right?
Yep.
Period there.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board appoint Joe Cattell, County Engineer, as alternate for Ralph Spitaleri for the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency, NOACA.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Spitaleri?
Okay, then acknowledgements, monthly financial report for the building department, the dog warden report, criminal report followed by the prosecutor, and then for the meetings we have the aging annual meeting luncheon is tomorrow, and we did the resolutions for tomorrow. NOACA air quality 9 a.m., transportation 10:30, water quality at noon. Family First is 2 p.m. at Jobs and Family Services. Blake, I believe, was going to that. Commissioners will hold session at 9 on the 22nd, which is next Tuesday. NACOG annual meeting at Jobs and Family Services at 10 o'clock on the 23rd. Time has been changed.
The location was changed. It was supposed to be here in Chambers, and now it's at JFS in their boardroom.
Okay.
This NACOG on the 23rd. Don't I have one tomorrow across the street that's not on here?
Yes, you
And then,
do.
and then the evening meeting you're about to read, there may be a question on that.
All right, so the commissioners will hold 6:30 p.m. and their question is?
Well, the question is, the NOACA evening, or they're having their annual summit that same evening, and I'm pretty sure, based on the
Okay.
email I got, that Skip wants to be there.
Okay.
And we don't have any agenda items that have been submitted to Christie yet.
Correct, this time.
And there's actually a GFS functioning that I would like to go to if possible at that same period of time. So I guess unless there's something that you're aware of that we need to have the meeting, still have a meeting without Skip there, you might want to consider canceling.
We could leave that on and that.
Could act on next Tuesday.
Because here's the thing too: is if there's not a huge, if we don't
There's
have
no
any items,
agenda,
then we can
right.
even, just move to waive it. And then if we have something come up, we want to do that as far as a guest speaker or something.
Right.
I know Jessica was thinking maybe about doing something with the Department on Aging for one of the night meetings. If we wanted to move that to the following month, that's fine too.
Yeah.
So then on the 28th, we have the Board of Revisions, 9 a.m., the Auditor's Office. And then the 29th, we'll have session again at 9. So other than that,
I move to adjourn.
all right.
You enjoy that? Go ahead.
And now that the meeting is adjourned, these budget hearings, where are they
Here,
held? Are they
we're
held
usually in the conference room. If
Okay.
it's too big, we'll have it in here.
Okay.
That door will be open and that door is open,
Cool.
so you can come in and go right into where they are.
Fabulous, thank you. Okay.